Good evening, everybody. Hope all's well. This is Steady Eddie here, live from a hotel room in Phnom Penh. Okay, and how is everybody? Let's read out the chat. Kipax, how are you, Kipax? Nice to hear from you, mate. Clive, nice to hear from you. Leo Malley, nice to hear from you. Harry Holt, Neil Fleet, David Coleman, David Pipe. Boohoo, Mark, Rohit Travels. 2023 will be better for sure. Well, that sounds pretty positive, but I'm not so sure. Leo Malley, hoping this is a drunken Indian hotel with Cambodian lady. This is a drunken. No. It's. I've done me better in Cambodia, I think. Mickey Barcher, good evening. Neil, good evening. Delayed Dave. Evening, Eddie. Hope you're doing well. Nice to hear from you, mate. El Terrifico. Nice to hear you, mate. Eddie, New Year's legend. Okay, fine. Thanks for that, mate. Eddie, anyway, Happy New Year's here. The Lost King of Scotland. Happy New Year, Eddie. Finally caught you live from the start. Okay, well, that's good. This is 20 past midnight here in Cambodia. So it's probably about 5:20 in England, and it's about midday round about America. Let's see. McLaren. Okay. Roger Tickler here live from Bangkok. Reggie Tricker. Reggie Tickler here live from Bangkok 2023. So far, so good. I mean, I don't know if that's your real name or not, but that's quite a funny name. Reggie Tricker. No, your name's Reggie Tricker, but you spelled it that in the chat, Roger Tickler. Oh, I don't know, whatever. It tickles me, that does. How tickled I am. How tickled I am. Okay, that's what Ken Dodge used to say. Andrew Blades, Happy New Year. Joe Hart, Happy New Year. McLaren F1 race, Eddie, remember my name. Okay. Gonzo, David Coleman, 1220, and Paul Hoskin. Have you had any funny? Oh my, give us a chance, mate. Give us a chance. Damon, Happy New Year. Oh, Paul's well regards, Damon. Okay, nice to hear from you, Damon. Nice to hear from you. Okay, I met Damon in Battalion. I met Kipax in Battalion as well. So great to meet both of you guys. Harry Holt, this vlog falls well into place. I can carry on with my cycle. There's an interesting point. Now that it's New Year, how many people are trying to, the New Year's resolution, I'm going to work off all of those calories. This is the year that I'm really, really, really going to get fit. I've said that for about the last 20 years. Okay. Martin Blunsden, a very happy New Year, Ed and chat. Let's all have a great 23. Okay. Cheers. That sounds quite positive. Leo Malley, non-pen. Sounds like you're going back to Battalion. Not exactly. Oh, there's a surprise package coming in with regards to travel. Some will approve of it, some won't approve of it, but that's the way it goes. David Coleman, yes, Happy New Year, Eddie. What are we talking about? I haven't got there yet. McLaren F1 race, sorry, Ed, a bit drunk. Okay, cheers. Let's see. So who else have we got? Okay, so it's New Year. It's 2023. I don't want to be a party pooper, but I don't go a bundle on New Year. I really, really don't. I mean, 2022, 2023, who cares? I mean, it's just 1 day closer, 1 year closer to death, really. I start every year as if it's my last one alive. So, seeing as I've suitably depressed everybody by now, let's have a drink. This is the Cambodia beer. It's all right, but it's not a rocket to the moon. Okay. Let's see. Martin Blunsden. I'll be in Battalion in February. Can't wait. Good for you, Martin Blunsden. Good for you anyway. I'll probably be there in February as well. Paul Hoskin. I've had a girl with a Brillo patch. She scoured my pots and pans. Okay. I thought you said that, you'd done things with the Brillo, but oh no, don't even go there. I had a Kit Kat once. No, don't go there either. Okay, David Coleman. Is the UK falling apart or will it survive? I'm not in the UK, so in the couple of months that I've been outside of the UK, I haven't paid that much attention to the news. But Jesus, I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's fairly dire. Strikes. I haven't had to suffer any of those strikes personally, but Jesus, I mean, if I was in the UK right now, I wouldn't want to fall sick and need a hospital. And I can imagine that's dreadful. And I can imagine people are being left on bloody stretchers for hours on end, waiting to be seen to. It's not a good situation. It's got off to a dreadful start. And also, let's not be too explicit about this. There's talk about the antivirus making a comeback. China, China are able to travel once again, and the thinking is that there's a lot more of the old antivirus rife there than what they're letting on about. Alpha Interactions, 1224 and Battaya there, Eddie. Happy New Year. Okay, Happy New Year. Anyway, Happy New Year. Now, I'm hearing, I watched a vlog by somebody earlier, traveling around Pattaya, dear old Pattaya. And the thinking is in this day and age that, there's not a lot of hot women around there. They're kind of like substandard, aren't they? I mean, that's the general thinking. Here in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, there are lots of lovely beds in Phnom Penh, but you'll pay a high price for them. But then you'll pay a high price for the not so good ones in Pattaya as well. So it's not really looking that good. The Lost King of Scotland, you still in Campot? No, I've left Campot now. I had a week there, and it was a very, very pleasant week. I mean, it was very, very pleasant week. That surprised me in a way, that town, because there was a lot more to it than what I thought. It was a lot bigger town. And somebody told me there's only one street there. No, there isn't. There's quite a lot of streets there. And you really spoke for choice with bars and with bars and restaurants and whatever. There's tons of life there, tons of life in Campot. And I can honestly say I've never, ever met such a positive group of expats there. The expats that I met there really, really feel very, very content with what they got. Campot is quite a happy town. If you visit Cambodia, give it a shot, give it a try. David Coleman, I watched GB News. It looks bad. Oh, I can believe it. Lieutenant Colombo's glass eye. 500 deaths each week in the NHS. Jesus, that's bloody awful. David Coleman, Jesus, Canada is testing all the Chinese coming in. We have to do it. Yeah, absolutely. We're not out of the woods yet as far as the old antivirus is concerned. We're not really out of the woods at all. Let's see. Paul Hoskin, Doggen is not being affected. Thank goodness in the UK. Doggen is not being affected. Okay, whatever. Woof, woof. That's what I make of that one. Martin Ryder, nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you, mate. Martin Ryder, are you back in Crete? No, I'm still in Cambodia. That picture there, if you can see that there, that's a tour around Athens. You can actually see that on this channel. I think it's about a 40-minute video. It's a walking tour of Athens. So, which I've done with a GoPro. So if you're interested, it's there on the channel anyway. Harry Holt, it's a disgrace. The UK is just in social collapse. When Sunak bathed in his fortune, people hard working left. While Sunak bathed in his fortune, people hard working left struggling to eat and essentially carry out a daily living. This is the UK we're talking about. Well, it sounds like we're talking about some bloody crackpot third world country where some dictator, siphons all the money off from himself, for his gold bathrooms and his Lamborghinis and all this kind of stuff. And the poor bastard starve in the street. This is what the UK is sounding like now. It's dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Let's see. Martin Blunton, where are you now, Ed? I'm actually in Phnom Penh. David Coleman, Eddie, I'm sorry, but Cambodia looks so dirty. It is a bit dirty. I mean, it's dirty and grimy. It's still very, very third world. There's no doubt about that. You can be in a restaurant of a night time eating your meal, and next thing, a bloody big rat runs across the floor. You know, it's no, I'm not denying that at all, but it's got a bit of a charm about it. Leo O'Malley, another week of rail strike started. Oh, does it ever end? Does it ever end? Another week of. I never ever take the train anyway. I just don't trust them. I just don't trust the trains. But you know, I mean, what transport do I use in the UK? Well, I'd either drive, or if I was going from where I live to Heathrow Airport, I'd take the National Express coach. You never heard of the National Express coach going on strike, do you? You never heard of any problems with them. It's always bloody rail. I mean, you know, is the rail so rail strikes? Jesus. Esan, man, nice to hear from you. What was you going to tell us about the fake $100 bills before the Irishman made you lose time? I can't remember. I can't remember that far back. What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, in Cambodia, you get a lot of fake $100 bills, but you can spot them quite easily. You know, they're lying on the floor. Apparently, like, they print them so that, you know, and they use them for funerals and stuff like that. So you can have lots of fake dollar bills going to heaven, or it's something like that anyway. You just got to be careful. Whenever you got a $100 bill in Cambodia, check it carefully and be careful with it. Nice to hear from you anyway. Happy New Year to you, Eason, man. Dickie Bay, Eddie just arrived in Kamala Beach. The more I read about home, the more I think that's it, I'm leaving. Me too, mate. Me too. I mean, the UK is now, you know, it's somewhere between bland and you know, desperate, and I think all the fun has gone out of the UK, really, hasn't it? There's just so many people struggling to make ends meet, and there's so many, you know, I know this is depressing talk, but people are struggling with the way to pay the fuel bills. They're probably struggling at this moment in time to heat their homes. And I'm sitting there, you know, in Cambodia wearing shorts and t-shirts. I've switched the air con off in this hotel room. I mean, you know, I'm starting to sweat again. I'll probably switch it back on in a minute. You know, so you know, but there's a lot of people in the UK who are in a very, very dire situation. Lieutenant Colombo's glass eye. Sunak is a billionaire. You have to ask what his motives are for being PM. He likes power, doesn't he? It's another string to his bow. It's another trophy for him. It's a trophy for him. You know, he's always got to be able to say, I was Prime Minister of the UK. So I mean, some things are more important to people than you know, the money. Well, look at Donald Trump, for Christ's sake. I mean, Donald Trump's a billionaire as well, and yet he threw, you know, I mean, I don't want to get involved in American politics, but he wasn't happy when he was thrown out of office. He could afford to retire in luxury for the rest of his life, which is probably only a few years anyway. But no, it's power that these people want. There are some things that are more important to them than the money. Jeff Ives, there's always been 500 deaths daily in the NHS. It's just another state-sponsored propaganda program to scare the shite out of the idiots in this country. Grow up, people. Okay. Let's see. Doug Penner, the Great Reset will step up a level. Be prepared. There's all kinds of things going on, isn't there? I can hear voices in this hotel room. I'm going to keep my voice down. Wait a minute. Let's have a little look. Doug Penn, the Great Reset will step up a level. Be prepared. Okay. You never know what's going to happen in this world. You really, really, really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, this year there's still wars and conflicts going on. There's all kinds of shite going on. You know what I mean? El Terrifico, David Coleman hasn't seen rat-infested Midtown Toronto. Okay. Lieutenant Colombo's glass eye, e-scooters are the future, strike-proof. Yeah, okay. Paul Hoskin, can you get KY jelly in Cambodia? Peter just one, everything will go worse with the inflation. Oh, inflation, The whole world is knackered. You know what I mean. I'm just glad that I'm doing my own thing. I mean, I'm out here in Cambodia right now, and I'm doing my own thing. I'm having a beer whenever I want, and inflation. I don't know. I've said it, I've got voices, and I'm always this time of night. I'm expecting someone to knock on my door and tell me to keep my bloody voice down. Let me tell you something. I came out of the hotel room the other day onto the balcony where I was in Kampot. It was about midday. I'd been on the internet, and Jesus God Almighty, I heard there was a couple in the room next door. This is at midday. And Jesus, she was having a whale of a time. I was kind of embarrassed, you know what I mean? Kind of embarrassed. And there was families in that hotel as well. Families. I mean, you could bloody hear it. You could hear them bumping and grinding right throughout the hotel. This was at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, well. Let's see. David Coleman. 100%. We have big rats in Chinatown in Toronto. See, they used to the Chinese in all the kitchens. I was in a kitchen. No, sorry, I was in a bar which had a kitchen. I ordered some food, and then after I had the food, I noticed bloody big rats were running in and out of the kitchen. It's third world. You know what I mean? This is what happens. Jackie B. I took the National Express this time to Heathrow from South Wales. Great value and bang on. Absolutely. I've never had a problem with it. Sod the trains. The National Express coach is reliable. Neil Fleet, flying out Wednesday for Gambia again. It's a third world country, but the prices are very good for everything. And I mean everything. Everything? Now, that's very, very interesting. So I've never made it to Gambia. I have heard some good reports from people who've been out there, and not just, 20-stone wongers. I mean, I've heard of, guys go out there and have a bit of fun, which you clearly do, Neil. So good for you, mate. Good for you. Martin Ryder, Oxford is banning cars soon. Only allowed household and safety. Putting the cars in the bloody doghouse. Whatever next. Doug Penner, the globalist needs stopping, okay? David Coleman, sorry, who the hell would want to go to Africa? Well, Neil Fleet, goes to Gambia. I know Gambia is an African country, but apparently it's. I've never been there, so I'm not going to judge it. But I have heard some pretty good reports about it. Harry Holt, I'm literally cycling trying to keep warm. Next step, hook up to a battery to power the generator. If only. Martin Ryder, trust you. Trust you. Sorry, London, the Gambia is fantastic, Neil. Okay. We're interested in Gambia all of a sudden. We're interested in Gambia. It's not just for 20-stone women, who like the young gigolos. And obviously I heard that they're kind of trying to clamp down and all of that. Boo-hoo. It's cheaper to vacation in Asia than pay heat in Canada. Oh, my God almighty. Mickey Barsh, you're not really a struggle. I'm donating my energy credit from government every month. Okay. David Coleman, 100%, whatever that means. 100%. Let's see. McLaren is Eddie, I'm driving to the airport in February. I got a meet and greet package for the car. Then hopefully 3 weeks with my girl in Manila. 20-hour trip there and back though. Well, that sounds good. You've got something to look forward to, mate. As long as you've got something to look forward to, that's good. Good for you, mate. Anyway, I'm gonna have to put the air con on again. Got to put the air con on because Martin Ryder, wife reports Colchester Hospital is fuller now than ever before. She's been called in. Here drinking beer alone. Oh my God almighty. God almighty. What is, it's not a good outlook for this year, is it really, when you think about it? When you think about it, there's so many problems in the world. And because I'm here and I'm in Cambodia, I'm enjoying myself, I'm meeting people, I'm drinking beer, I'm having fun with the ladies and, whatever. It's, it doesn't seem like a problem, but with regards to the UK, it looks to me like the UK is just bloody destroyed right now. And it's not going to get any better anytime soon. David Coleman, boohoo. I get my first pension check this month. All my bills are paid in full. Oh, well, that's good. Good for you, mate, anyway. Boohoo, David retirement. Okay. But Kalam F1 is the only good thing about inflation is a blow up doll. Now, that's very, very good. That's very, very good. Keith Smith, Happy New Year, Steady Eddie. You're right to do what you do, and you do well. I do okay, mate. I do okay. I mean, Cambodia over the last month it's been really. It's not what it should be. It's not like somehow it doesn't feel like the Cambodian of old. But it's still a great little country, and all the expats that I've met some really, really great guys here. People have come up to me in bars in the street and said, "Oh, Steady Eddie, you know, love your videos, man," and it really, really makes me feel good. It makes me feel that I'm not wasting my time here. Martin Blonsden, where would you like to retire at? Well, I still haven't fully decided, but I mean, the Southeast Asia is a good place. But you know something, I mean, do you know? So, I mean, if you retired in this part of the world, it's not much fun all the time because don't forget, a large part of the year it's devoid of tourists and there's a lot of rain. I mean, the rainy season goes on for a very long time in this part of the world. It's not all fun and games. And really, if I lived in this part of the world all the time, it would probably, kill the enthusiasm for it. Funnily enough, I mean, I'm going to repeat things. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. But the expats that I met in Kampot are probably the most positive, content expats that I think I've ever met anywhere. I mean, they really, really are happy with their town and the cost of living there and what they've got. So, what's this? Nick Ross, that wasn't a hotel, Eddie. It was a brothel. No. It was actually a family hotel. And I will do a review of it. I have done a review of it. I'm going to upload it probably tomorrow. It was a family hotel, but this hot girl who was staying with this guy in the other room, Jesus, she was noisy. She was blood. The whole hotel, all the families and everyone must have heard her. David Coleman shows you a new hotel room, Eddie. How much is it? Oh, well, we'll get to that some other time. We'll get to that some other time. Last King of Scotland. Sounds like my kind of hotel, okay? Paul Hoskin. None of the girls make any noise with me. You must be you must be doing it. You must be doing your dogging thing wrong then, mate. Jesus, Martin Ryder, Gambian. Oh, no, that's not good, is it? Leeds. Good evening, Eddie. Okay, good evening. Dino Taylor. No, that's something we can't talk about. We still can't talk about that yet, mate. Lieutenant Colombo's glass eye. Need too many vaccines for Gambia. I've had enough injections over the last few years. Yeah. I the only African country I've ever been in was Ethiopia, and it was very third. I mean, what would you expect? What would you expect? Dirty and grimy, But it was interesting anyway. Bent over when the shittest the family will be eating all those rats as an Nissan, okay? David Coleman, you guys landed with a big cooking pot in Africa, okay? Thailand forever. Well, this guy's very, very positive, isn't he? Yeah, African women come nowhere near Thai ladies. Thai girls are far superior. Yeah, they may be very, very superior. But I'm not the only one who thinks that the bar girls and all the other birds available in Thailand have really, really gone downhill in recent times. I'm not the only one who thinks that. I mean, someone done a video. There's not many nines or tens about. You know what I mean? Toby Price, I worked in Angola for 9 years. Nicest, politest people you will ever meet. Really? That's interesting. Tampa guy, all economic indicators say we're heading for a disaster in 2023, especially in the States. Housing market crash. Has anyone got any good news? I can't hear any good news anywhere. David Coleman, I think we'll go to Thailand for a few months each year. I don't think I can live there. Oh, we'll go there for a few months a year. It's a good start, mate. It's a good start. Ian UK, nice to hear from you, Ian. I met him when he was in Phnom Penh the other week. Hi, Steady. I'm pissed here, made in Thailand. You're the best vlogger on the YouTube, without doubt. Okay, thanks for that, Ian. And it was great to meet you. Ian's on a video as well. He was on a live stream with Ricky Drama. John Mitt, how much? Whatever. The beds there in Kampot are. I did say this in a video that I made yesterday. They are a bit rough and ready. They're not in the league of the girls that you will see in Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh has some beautiful, beautiful women, whereas in Kampot, they're a bit like bargain basement. You know, they're kind of like the bargain basement council estate, rough and ready sort of bunch. So they're not really in the league. That's all I'll say. Harry Hall, New Year, no difference. New Year, another. Well, yeah, that's it. 2023. Who cares? Issa, man, give us the script on bar girls in Kampot. To be honest with you, there are bar girls in Kampot, but it's not really, like I just said, they're not really. Oh, they're a bit rough around the edges. I wouldn't like to put anyone in the frame of mind that they're all loads of hot, sexy ladies there in Kampot. It's not the case. Even the guys who live there, who like living there, will admit that the girls there are of a bit of a rough and ready quality. So I wouldn't like to build anyone's hopes up on that one. Yeah, Flog Farang. I had the first time watch it. Okay, well, I'll into that. Greetings. Welcome to the club. Okay, where are we? Michael Janaes. Happy New Year, Eddie. Really appreciate your videos and chats. Spent a week in John TM and now in Bangkok. So good to be out of the UK, mate. It's a mess. Well, I don't know. Have I got a future in the UK? I don't know. I really, really don't know. I don't know. One of the things, like I mentioned a few moments ago, is that these kind of places in Southeast Asia may have the weather and everything, but can you really maintain your enthusiasm for this part of the world 12 months a year? I mean, how about the rainy season, which seems to start in May and goes on until like November? I mean, it's like a 6-month rainy season here. How about that when there's hardly anyone around? What are you going to do? Are you going to open a bar? I mean, in months like July and August, when there's hardly anyone around, September, hardly anyone, are you going to be standing there at the door of the bar, hoping to see some tourists pass? I mean, it's not all roses in this part of the world. Believe me, it isn't. Clive, McLaren, what's with the green screen background there? Where's that then? That is, where am I now? This is in Athens. It's a walk around. I walked around Athens, it was about 18 months ago, 16 months ago, something like that, with a GoPro strapped to my chest. I walked around Athens, and that video is on this channel if you want to check it out. Athens walk around. It's about 40 minutes long. So if you want to, Athens, very nice city. Paige just one. I will visit Kampot in my next Cambodia visit. Yeah, do so. Yeah, visit. Kampot's well worth to visit, but just don't expect the bar girls to be all glamour queens. They are not in the league of Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh's got the really, really glamorous beds. They really have. David Coleman, Eddie, you need to see the mountains in the west of Canada. It's heaven. I'd love to see the mountains. I would love to see Canada. I really would. I'll probably never get round to it, but that I'd like to see Scotland as well, to be honest with you. But Oh, Greece probably mythology shop behind you. Yeah, absolutely. Martin Ryder watched Vagabond Away. Who's Vagabond Away? Channel today about, I might have heard them today about an Aussie retiring in Thailand on $579 a month. Retiring in Thailand on $579 a month. What is that? What is that a year? Um, you would survive on that amount of money, but you couldn't live. I mean, you what kind of life are you going to have in Thailand? That amount of money each month. You need far more than that. It's possible to exist, to survive on that amount of money, but you couldn't live. I mean, you couldn't. You couldn't have a good life. You couldn't have entertainment on that amount of money. It'd take far more than that. Paul Hoskin, I'm a mountain man. Good for you, mate. Anyway, see Rana, nice to hear from you, Shin. Okay, nice to hear from you. Yeah. Paul Hoskin, I'm a mountain man. Martin Ryder, I'm a manga man. Okay. Patriotus one. 579 is realistic if you were a non-drinker. It's not only would you have to not drink alcohol, but also I can't see it even treating yourself to restaurants or any other luxuries on that amount of money. I just can't see how you could do that. I really don't. Michael Janays, what did you think of Ethiopia? I'm thinking about going. Ethiopia was it's quite a safe country, Ethiopia. Probably a lot safer than other African countries. And the Ethiopians themselves will tell you that. Well, one of the things that I sussed out about Ethiopia is that they're crazy about football. They love football. I mean, their team is Arsenal, and they love football, ball Ethiopian, and they also have a great variety of local bears in Ethiopia. The people, were quite pleasant. You do get a few sly bastards, especially the taxi drivers. What's the taxi driver? And their money, I think, is the bear. So they'll, as soon as they see that you're a Westerner, they'll try and pull a fast one on you with the money there. But it's worth a visit anyway. It's worth a visit. Very, very cheap country as well. Thailand forever. Most expats normally have a missus in Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and they retire. Also, the rainy season, still hot and dry. In minutes, just avoid living in flooded soils that are filled with water. Okay. Sam Sheep. New Year resolutions usually last for 2 or 3 weeks. Mine do anyway. Yeah, absolutely. Every New Year for about the past 20 years, I've said this is the year. This is the year that I'm going to lose all the body fat, and by the end of the year, I'm going to be lean and lean the lean and hungry look. We'll see. We'll see about it. It hasn't happened yet. Hated this one. I'd say $200 a month for an apartment and $400 for food and transport can make you live in Cambodia. It requires you to be a non-drinker and not go to bar girls. Well, I mean that's not much fun, is it? That's not much fun. You may as well be you may as well be on a bloody dole in a council estate if you're going to live like that. They probably have a better life. I mean, $200 a month for an apartment, $400 for food and transport. You're not really going to have much fun on that, are you? Not realistically. Not realistically. Eamon Coyle, some good news. Price of beer is going down. Oh, that's good. That's good anyway. Okay. Shin Rana, that's Suez. You're the best vlogger by a mile. Okay, thank you, thank you. God bless you, Shin. God bless you, Shin. Cheers, thanks for that. I'm on 45,000 subscribers on the other channel. 13 million views. Now it's not a record breaker, but it's pretty good. I was thought like this for someone who caught onto the internet years later and is obviously not young and trendy. It's not a bad result. And I'm an honest guy as well. If you notice on the thumbnails of my videos, I put my own ugly bastard of a face on the thumbnails of my videos. I don't put a glamorous bird, a glamorous girl in lingerie on the cover of my, on the thumbnails, for clickbait. I just don't do that because I wouldn't do that. I consider that's a bit dishonest. That is. So the way I say it, with me, what you see is what you get. I don't use clickbait thumbnails. I tell the truth, even though it sometimes makes me unpopular. I was in a bar this evening in Phnom Penh, and this guy came up to me. He says, "I like your videos, man. The thing about you is that you tell the truth, regardless. When other people are telling you this, that, and the other, telling you that everything's rosy and you should come out here, you're the guy who comes along and says, wait a minute, it's not what it seems. Just hold your horses, And I replied to this guy, yeah, I do have an annoying habit of telling the truth, which does tend to get up some people's noses, but nevertheless, that's what I am. So thanks for that anyway, Shin Rana. Thank you. Martin Riser, heard Koh Samui is going to be the Amsterdam of Thailand. Good time to invest in a condo. The Amsterdam in Thailand, is that because of the wacky backy and all of that? Or for another reason, they're going to have knocking shops in the windows or whatever. I can't really see the connection there. I went to Koh Samui early last year, didn't I? Around about April. I think about April. And I wasn't really impressed. But then I probably didn't see it at its best because a lot of stuff was still closed down then. And, the pandemic still, we weren't out of the woods with it then. So I probably didn't see it at its best. But I wasn't really blown away by anything in Koh Samui, to be honest with you. Who's this? Sam Sheep. Kurt Kaz is in Thailand and overstay over me in March. Okay, fine. Toby Price. They camp up there. It must be better than an Aberdeen Munter. Okay. Let's see. Sappy in space. The good news is the sun did not blow up last year. Yeah, okay, whatever. David Coleman, most of us guys in this chat are the lucky ones. We have a bit of money to sell. Well, it does help. It does help to have money. Travel doesn't come cheap. Rudolph Jacobs, hi Eddie, still no shave. I did shave. I shaved a couple of days. This is about 3 days growth. This is. I didn't the last time. I did an unshaven. It was like about a week's. Growth. So I have got razors now. I have my hair cut. At least it's something, isn't it? At least it's something. Do you notice in this day and age, you see an awful lot of guys, especially young guys, with beards and bald heads. In the old days, you had hair up here and no hair down here, and now it's the bloody other way around, isn't it? It looks like they've got their head upside down. A beard with a baldy head. It still looks a bit strange to me, though. Paul Hoskin, the girls look shocked when I take my mask off. Okay. David Coleman, I'm gonna have a look at Nicaragua to see if I want to retire there. I went to Nicaragua. Nicaragua's a cool place. I was in that bar. You might have seen on the video, mate. I was in that bar in Campos, which had a very, very Latin American feel to it, and that sort of reminded me of bars that have been in live music bars in Havana or in Grenada and Nicaragua, with that wonderful Latin American feel to it and the music and everything. Nicaragua's, I met some real characters there, real characters. Leeds, I'm hoping things will get better in the UK this year, but I'm not holding my breath. So I suppose, should we say at this moment, and I'm not in England right now, I'm not there. Should we say in England right now, this is the winter of discontent, to rival the winter of discontent in, was it 1978, 79, round about then, strikes and all kinds of other things. You would have thought mankind would have progressed since then, but now it looks like Britain Britain is a country that looks like it's going backwards. It just looks like it's going backwards to me. I mean, in the late 70s, they used to say, didn't they, that Britain was the sick man of Europe. Even Europe didn't really want to do business with us because, our economy was knackered. But then Maggie Thatcher come along and things started getting a bit, well, it was tough. It was tough if you had no money or you were unemployed. But, she did eventually pull the country back together again. Martin Blunton, are you going to visit Vietnam on this trip? No, because before the antivirus struck, the pandemic, I did a fair bit in Vietnam, so I've got to, I'm going to give that a miss this time, even though it's a great country. But I will be going other places. Still got another couple of months to go yet, anyway. Michael Shashi, yeah. Steady Ed, you really got me inspired to visit Cambodia on my first Asian trip. Okay, good for you, mate. Good for you. Good for you. We'll have to do a video about Cambodia, an overview. But we'll do an overview of Cambodia. But good for you anyway, mate. Gabby Hayes, nice to hear from you, Gabby. Nice to hear from you. David Barnett just got back and already planning a return to Pattaya for April. Well, you obviously had a good time then, didn't you? You had such a good time that you want to go back for more of a good time. Good for you, mate. Anyway. Good for you. The thing about Pattaya, I mean, it's I've said this before, it's like a giant Christmas pudding. You eat too much of it, you get pig sick. But after a while, you feel hungry for it again. Pattaya is still a great place. Great place. Okay, Nick Ross, please stop pushing the girls of Phnom Penh as the prices, etc., will go up and your publicity will ruin the place. Best keep these places a secret. Okay. All right, that's it, guys. I'm not in Phnom Penh. I'm in Athens. See behind me? That's Athens. I'm in Athens right now. Okay, ask me questions about Athens, not Phnom Penh. Let's see. Geelong Dave, good day, mate. Happy New Year to you, Dave. Happy New Year. Let's see. Martin Ryder, 200 quid for a Phnom Penh bargain. Was that for a Minga in Camper? Wait, that video that I made, if you actually watch that video right the way through, I was ready to put that video out, but then I had a, I thought, don't be so hasty. I had to look around 1360 to give myself a bit of time. And if you actually look at that video, my first experiences with the girls were asking for 200. But then later on in that video, I did say that if you go around 1360, there's still a lot of lovely girls. They will ask for 100. But then you've still got to pay an expensive bar fine and the lady drinks and all that. It's definitely gone up in price. Really, really has. So they'll try for 200, but you can, if you go around 136, it will be less than that. But the thing is, it's definitely a lot more expensive than the last time I was in Cambodia. No doubt about that. Philip Mulville, nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you, Phil. Happy New Year to you. Roderick Daniels, hi. I went to Edinburgh last year for the first time. Loved it. Plenty of places to go, things to see, and pubs to drink in. Well, good for you, mate. I'm glad that you had a really good experience there. Good for you. Tampa guy, the thing I noticed about my visits to the Philippines or Thailand, many expats, Americans and British, they just drink all day, and you don't want to go down that route. Well, this is the case, you see, where this is a very, very common thing, not just in this part of the world, but in any part of the world. And I had a property in Turkey for many, many years, and I got to know some of the expats there. And it's like the case that the reason, but the reason that they went out, they become expats in the first place, is because they're tempted by the weather, the cheaper prices, the sites, various sites, and this sort of thing. But when they get out there, they form a community, and all they do is just drink. They lose enthusiasm for everything else that the place got to offer, and all they do is just want to drink day and night. They want to, because they're not working anymore. Don't forget, these people were working people when they were in their own country, but when they become expats, they've got a bit of money. They're not necessarily working anymore. So what do you do? What do you do other than have bays of a day and bays of a night? And it can be very, very easy to get suckered into that kind of lifestyle. Nick Ross, Eddie did not like Ethiopia, but it is fabulous, and the girls are too. I didn't say that I didn't like Ethiopia. I didn't say that. I never ever said that. Eastern man, I think if I were, I like it where I'm in Uden Tani, but I'm long time married and live pretty much as I would on the UK. But life is easier here. Well, good for you. Good for you, Bobby. Good for you. Really nice to hear from you. Really glad that you're very, very contented. And I must take some of that the alcohol that you've got to offer pretty soon. John Mitch, $579 would need to put on an orange robe and live in a temple. Yeah, that sounds about right. I agree with you there. Anyone who says anyone who says you can live in Thailand on $579 a month, that's it. It's totally unrealistic. You couldn't live there. You could exist there, and you would be existing. David Coleman, taxi drivers are the scum of the earth all over the world. Okay. So if you were having a night out and you were stranded somewhere, miles away from home, how would you get home then, David? Would you walk? No, I think you'd have a different view of taxi drivers then. I think that you would appreciate a taxi driver if you needed to get to the hospital in a hurry. Don't bother phoning for an ambulance in the UK because you won't get one. You would appreciate a taxi driver then, So I don't know. I think your comment is a bit out of order, to be honest with you. Let's see. Sam Sheep. A couple I knew were killed by a wreck. A couple I knew were killed by a wreck. Let's not express female drive. Sam Sheep, a couple I knew were killed by a reckless National Express female driver in Kent. It's not perfect on National Express. I mean, nowadays on a National Express in England, you have to wear a seatbelt. And the thing is that a couple of I knew were killed by wrecks. The thing is, there was a crash, wasn't there, some years ago, and it wasn't far coming out of Heathrow Airport. The bus terminus when the coach turned over and people were killed, and after that they made everyone wear a seatbelt on the National Express. I know where I live, a coach was coming into town in the early hours of the morning, and some bloody drunk stacked it out into the middle of the road and bang, a National Express coach killed him. It does happen. McLaren F1 race. Hey, I saw Ben Streetliff Asia. Kid's sober early. He needs to calm his bit down later on. Alcohol can ruin all of us. He's learning. Well, we are. Well, look at me. I'm twice that age, and I haven't learned yet, have I? G. Long Dave, White Cat's Bar on Street 118. Yeah, all right, fine. Thank you. That's it. Well, just get me goes. Silent forever. But Eddie, you're on holiday and eat $8 to $10 meals low, so you can't compare that to retirement. John T and Condo, $250 a month with electric and water. Then you just have 2 nights out a week. Yeah, that sounds good. So $250, but how about all your food at home? I mean, your 2 nights out a week and all that. And how about if you want to form a relationship? The big expense about living abroad is the big expense is that if you form a relationship, that girl wants you to have money and spend money on her, and that's where the big expense really comes about. It's okay saying that you can live on this, that, and the other, but if you're in a relationship, no chance. You've got to be the breadwinner. You meet a Thai girl or a Cambodian girl, don't expect her to be the breadwinner. You're the man. You've got to supply the money. So, what that other guy calls it, what was it, $579? You couldn't even live on that on your own. Exist on your own. Forget about forming a relationship. It's just not going to happen. Let's see. Toby Price, my house here is paid in Thailand, so no rent. My car is paid. I'm in rural Chambly. My missus gives me long time for free. Toby, but my house here is paid in Thailand, so no rent. My car is paid. I'm in rural Chambly. My missus gives me long time for free. Okay, so after that, after you pay for your home and for your car, and you've got a missus, so let's say 579. I still think that there's, you're not telling us the full story. I still think that. I can't accept that. I just can't accept it. I know what $579 is. It's probably no more than it's probably less than 500 quid in English money. And to actually to do that, it's okay. I think what we do when we talk about how much to live abroad, it's for the guys who, want to rent an apartment or whatever. You've already got money to begin with. A lot of those guys haven't. So the idea of renting a condo, whatever, they'd have to do that. They'd have to do it. So your situation is different than others. Glasgow, Lieutenant Columbo's New Year resolution this year is always have a tummy tank twice a day. Okay, good for you anyway, mate. Patriots, $400 is doable if you cook your food in an apartment. You can buy rice. What a boring life that is. Rice and meat in a supermarket, some oats and bananas, and you still have money to eat in restaurants, but not every day. Oh, well, I couldn't survive on that. I know that I couldn't. My alcohol bill will be bloody more than that. Mickey Berkshire, now you're talking. Minimum $1,500 a month for reasonable living. Okay, I'd say that sounds about right. That's more like it. For reasonable living, he's not even saying that you can live a great life on $1,500. He's saying for a reasonable living. Yeah, that sounds far more worth it. I'd support that one, Mickey, definitely. Damon, nice to hear from you, Damon. 100,000 baht a month would be a fair amount for living in Thailand. Condo, food, bills, and entertainment a few times a month. What is 100,000 baht now? 10,000 is about 250 quid, isn't it? So that'll be about 2,500. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Yeah, definitely. You could live a fair amount on that. That sounds fine. You could live a good lifestyle on that. Nice to hear from you as well, Damon. I met Damon in Thailand. Nice to hear from you, mate. McLaren F1, we love your face, Ed. Who needs slappers on your thumbnails? Okay, fair enough. Let's see. David Barner, plan to decide in John TM. Big advantage already having a condo, so won't have to pay rent. Okay, good for you, mate. You still have to pay bills, though, won't you? Neil, you've been in Asia too long with the footprints on the toilet seat of yours. That is the word of wisdom. That is the word of wisdom of the night. Sam Sheep, Ed, have you ever stayed in a haunted hotel or hotel room? No. There's not a ghost of a chance of me trying anything like that. But I think that'd be quite fun. Let's see. Nick Ross, never buy any condo or property in town ever. You will lose money. There you go. That's very, 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 very assertive. Sapien Space, love your channel. That's a name that rolls off the tongue, isn't it? Sapien Space. Love your channel, Eddie. Okay, thank you. Anyway, thank you. Toby Price, Koh Samui has no condos. They don't know how to build 5 or 6 floors high. Well, 5 or 6 floors is a fair. But I've only been to Koh Samui once, and it wasn't a rocket to the moon. It wasn't really a rocket to the moon. But Clan F1 race, don't knock the baldies out. I'm not knocking the baldies out. I'm just saying it's a bit strange that a guy who's got no hair grows a big thick beard, like you know. So you see so many of those guys nowadays. Michael Gianneas. John TM seems like a great place to retire. Make sure if you visit, usually 10 baht little buses, anywhere up to North Pattaya. Compare that to 200 Thai baht in Phuket for the same trip here. I mean, the thing is, I mean, those baht buses, Pattaya is so easy to get around. I mean, you go along Second Road in one way, and that's a hell of a long way from end to end for 10 baht, and then you go along Beach Road for 10 baht. It's amazing price. Look, that's never ever risen over the years. Thailand forever. Pages want to sack me. £900. That's over $1,000. Can have a comfortable life. Find a missus and no money. Find a missus and no money needed for a long time. Once ladies hit 40, they want a comfortable life and a decent car. Once ladies hit 40, they want a comfortable life in a decent condo. Do you believe this? Do you believe that? I mean, and the idea that you can live for maybe $1,000, have a comfortable life, fair enough. But find a missus and no money needed for a long time. So you've got a missus that doesn't want any money from you. Does such a thing exist? All women want money from you. I mean, all right, you might get your leg over included, but she's going to expect you to help with their family, and she's going to want you to help with their family, and anything that their family needs, you'll be expected to pay for that. I'm not quite sure. I don't think there's any such thing as a woman who comes for free. I really, really don't. David Barnett, I've had my condo for 10 years now and no problems. Did buy a foreign name, but I would say only invest or buy abroad if you could afford to lose your money without breaking the bank back home. Okay, good advice there. Pages is one. $1,500 is more realistic, but there are guys who do it with $500 to $600 a month in Cambodia. Fair enough. I met a guy, Giles, who follows the other channel, and he said he lives on about $700 a month. It's in Kampot. It is doable. It is doable. But then you've got visas and other things. Sooner or later, money's going to come back to haunt you, and there's always going to be another reason that you're going to have to put your hand in your pocket. So I'm always a little bit skeptical about those kind of figures. Paul Hoskett, 1978. I remember it well. I'm the stretch for the top shelf in the newsagents for the adult magazines. Oh, they were because they had hairy fannies in them days, didn't they? They were worth it. I mean, what used to bug me is that if you go into a newsagent, I don't know if they still got them, but the Top Shelf magazines, the Fiesta, the Razzle, all the ones with the women with the legs open and all of that, you would you reach up and you buy one because they had them on the shelf, but you go to the counter, and the woman behind the counter will give you the dirtiest look. You dirty little pervert. Well, she works in a shop that sells them, doesn't she? So what's the problem? Anyway, Martin Ryder. Vietnam makes a good visa run with them scrapping visas for trips less than 10 days. Well, I heard it was 40. It was 14 days last time I was there. Last time I went to Vietnam, you could go there for 14 days without a visa. Air Asia, 150 return from Dong Guang. From Dong Guang. Air age 150 return. I'm to go for something. Yeah, Vietnam's good, and I would go to Vietnam again, but I'm actually going somewhere else pretty soon anyway. So Vietnam is, it's always going to be worth a visit, but I'm going somewhere else soon. Jan K, pin up in Pattaya. I've 150 girl. Most of the girls are 9 to 10. Yeah, I watched that video as well. He's pretty good, that guy, isn't he? I do watch his videos. He's pretty good. Good for him anyway. David Coleman, Eddie, what is that name of the island that is so close to Pattaya that I can visit? I think it's called Koh Lam. I've actually never got round to going there, but for a few hours away, you can go to Koh Samet, which is a nice island. Koh Samet's a nice island, lovely, beautiful beaches, and there are videos that I've got on the other channel. Koh Samet's beautiful, well worth a visit, lovely beaches. But the one that's actually close to Pattaya, Koh Lam, I've never actually got around to going there. Maybe because I can't get up at the daytime. When I'm in Pattaya, I stay out so late and sleep so late I can never get up. Nick Ross, Thatcher was a disaster. That rhymes, that doesn't it? It's like a rap. Thatcher was a disaster. That's why the UK is a deep shite now. The Tories are a disaster. Corruption is rampant. Shite Boris put a Russian gangster in the House of Lords. Oh, I tell you what, that'd make a good thriller. That's like a John Lee Carey thriller, that, isn't it? It's got all the Thatcher was disaster, the UK. Well, my God almighty. I mean, the plot's there for you, isn't it? Somebody write that novel, please. Sean Young, just before Saigon in May. I love it there. Yeah, great city, great city. I'd like to think that the I'd like to think that that's back together again. Now, obviously, I mean, I was there before the pandemic, and so we don't know I don't actually know what situation a place like that is in right now. Poppycorn, nice to hear from you, Poppycorn. Oh, happy New Year's, yeah. Have you returned to your unfinished business in Phnom Penh? The old geezer might have moved on now. What? You seriously think I'm going to entertain it after that dirty, decrepit old bastard has been there? No, thank you. No, thanks. David Coleman. Pin up in Pattaya is all the really good-looking girls, about 100 of them that night. They cost you an arm. Yeah, probably does. I didn't go in pin up when I was in Pattaya recently. But the word is that's where all the best looking ones are. But they don't come cheap. And what does that geezer say on his video? He said the thing is, some of these girls in Pattaya now are earning so much money from the wages and the drinks that they're getting that they don't really need to be bar fined. They're earning enough money as it is. Some of them. Oh, times they are a changing. It's not so much. They've got us by the bollocks these days. Let's face it. Thailand forever. That's why I use apps, Eddie. No bar fine, no lady drinks, and negotiate fee first. I prefer a bloody good dirty massage. Or soy 6 is still good. That's still good. Pinball, nice to hear from you, mate. Happy New Year. Poppycorn, Happy New Year. Where were the best and worst places you spent New Year's Eve? The best and worst place you spent New Year's Eve. I think they were probably all in Liverpool. That's where they were. When I was a young man about town in Liverpool, I stopped going out Christmas Eve, and I think I eventually stopped going out New Year's Eve because Christmas Eve, especially Christmas Eve, I found that it doesn't matter where you go on Christmas Eve, somehow all the people who you can't stand seem to turn up there and they want to shake hands with you. That's what Christmas Eve is like. All these people you've been trying to avoid all year All of a sudden, they appear on Christmas Eve with big smiles on their faces and want to shake hands with you. What a load of crap. New Year's Eve. I've never taken New Year's Eve that seriously. I've never taken it that really that seriously. Really, it's just another year, isn't it? Really. But I must admit, the best New Year's Eve I ever had was in the month of February, and that was in Saigon. That was a wonderful. The Vietnamese, they know how to celebrate New Year's Eve, and that was wonderful. That was a really good atmosphere. I mean, if you go to Britain, you know it's all full of lager louts fighting, whereas New Year's Eve in Saigon was wonderful. Saigon was the best New Year's Eve, definitely. Who's this? Tyler Forever. That's called an alcoholic. Okay. Welsh 32. Might as well go to Amsterdam instead. I've been to Amsterdam for a few years. I wouldn't mind another visit to there. Mickey Barks, yeah. My rule is only drink when sundown. Oh, that's a good rule, that, mate. Good rule. Brian Street, evening, mate. Just arrived, but not on a boat. Cheers. Oh, we'll talk about the dingy people. You know, we'll talk about them soon. We'll honestly on this channel, Steady Eddie Live. When I get I'm on a different time zone here, obviously. But you know, when I get the act together, we'll do some regular videos. We'll talk about such stuff. But anyway, Brian Street, nice to hear from you, mate, and a very happy New Year. Tyler Forever, Ty Friendly and Badu. He's recommended that they're the apps to use. Mark McCormick, all right, I went to Philippines in February for 2 weeks, found a cheap flight, $674. That sounds all right. After Philippines, I'm off to Indonesia for 2 weeks to see my ex who's pregnant. Going to see Jakarta, Lombok, and Bali. That sounds like a great way to spend February. Good for you, mate. Congratulations. I hope it all works out well. Nick Ross, if you live in the countryside outside Phnom Penh, you can live for $500 easy, and that includes rent. But is that a life that you want, really? I mean, you as a Westerner, would you really be content with that? What would you have for $500? Is that a month? You know, what would you have for $500 a month? You know, even in the countryside, yeah. Somehow I'd still want a nice big TV screen, a nice comfortable condo. I'd still want a bit of female company here and there. You know, well, I don't know. Let's see. The Lost King of Scotland. What likes it? What like the Cambodian tuk-tuk drivers nowadays? Overcharging, or did you use Grab or Passer? I've used it. I tried to download an app when I was in Campot, and when I was in Campot, I tried to download an app, but I've got credit on. I can get data on it, but it wouldn't download the app for me, funnily enough. So I was using tuk-tuk drivers, and even though I was staying well out of town in Campot, it was only $3 each way. But if you want to go into town twice a day, then adds up to $12. So that bumps the prices up. But the Cambodian tuk-tuk drivers, good guys. As long as you set the the fare with them, they were cool. They've got a living to make. Who's this? Nick Ross. Yep, it's doable, but I'm not going to say anything because it will get ruined by drunks and mongers. Okay. David Coleman. As you're right about taxi drivers, I was a bit over the top, but I just got ripped off a few times. I've been ripped off in restaurants and I mean, in other places, but I don't say that they all are. It's still just a minority. It's still just a minority of people. Let's see. Nick Ross, I stayed in the village and had hot and cold running in and out. Cost less than 500 quid a month. Was there for 12 months. Staying there, well, if you had a good lifestyle there, it was there for 12 months. But why didn't you stay longer? I mean, if it was that good, why didn't you stay longer than 12 months? Why didn't you live there? I mean, it costs less than 500 a month. Um, I mean, I would question. I wouldn't bet that I could live on 500 a month. I'd need far more than that somehow. Dino Taylor, just booked my bus from Bangkok Airport to Pattaya. 168 Thai baht, including reserved seat. Only 2 hour trip and great value seats. Looking around for an hour for your taxi. Okay. That sounds good. Sounds good for you, mate. Anyway, thanks for that info. Karen Francis, your missus gives you a headache for free too. Okay, fair enough. Who's this? John Mitch, forget about former relationship. That's like reading a book over and over again. Always need to exchange the book for a fresh read, which is more exciting. Okay, that's a nice comment. I just don't really see if you're living on a bare minimum in Thailand or Cambodia or any of the countries here, it's possible for you personally to live on the bare minimum. But I don't see how you can have a relationship on that money. I really, really don't. Women want money. They want money from you. And if you ain't got money, they'll go and find someone else. But Karen Fran from the jungle, cheap to eat out half the time. Okay. That is the one thing about living in these countries. Um, you know, you can eat in restaurants for a lot of the time. If I was living out here, I would probably get some food in and I'd cook meals for most of the time. But it is still quite cheap. To eat, and providing you don't go over the top with the alcohol, as I did. I mean, you can still eat in restaurants quite cheaply in this part of the world. Okay, Toby Price, I agree with you. If you pay rent, electric, and water, then it's more expensive. Okay. David Coleman, I think I can live in Thailand on my 2,300 Canadian dollars a month. Yeah, that sounds realistic. What is 2,300 Canadian dollars? What is that? Is that about US dollars? Is that about 1,600 US dollars? Or I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, you know better than that, but sounds realistic. Nick Ross, sadly, I got bored of living in Thailand. Okay. Martin Ryder, I can hear the aircon using headphones. I'm going to switch that off now because the room is chilled a little teensy weensy there. Oh, come here. Come here. There you go. It is a bit rackety, isn't it? It's a bit rackety. Brian King, where's the best rompy pompy mongering massages? Thailand or Cambodia? Oh, rompy pompy monger. Oh, that's Thailand wins hands down there. Thailand's got the best dirty massages. And some of them are lovely, lovely girls. I mean, you get to know them. I know some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful dirty massage girls. Absolutely wonderful. And if you treat them well, they'll treat you well. And they're terrific. They're such great fun as well. They're such good. Oh, I better shut my mouth. I better keep my mouth closed about that one. Nick Ross, Indonesian islands are great. Bali in 1972 cost me $1 a day and seven a week for the most part, living in a Balinese house. When the women came in and took off their tops and went topless. That sounds good. Oh, 1972, they were the days, weren't they? Oh, they were the days when you could get a loaf and a pint of milk for threepence. They were the days. That's that sounds bloody good. That sounds like that's another thing that you want to write the scripts for movies. That sounds like another nice movie scene. I'd watch a movie that was set in a Balinese house when the women come in and took their tops off and went. If you made a movie about that, I'd watch it. I'd watch it. Paul Hoskin, a month in Pattaya, that's 90 condoms for the start. Okay. Fat Boy Slim, nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. Let's see. Okay, where are we now? Singapore Dam. 100,000 Thai baht, about 280, sorry, 2,850 US dollars. Yeah, you could live handsomely in Thailand. You could even have a girlfriend or a missus on that amount of money. Yeah, on that amount of money. You could, what is that? What is that? That's well over £2,000 a month. Yeah, you and your missus could live well on that in Thailand. But then you never know. I mean, we say this now. What's to say in coming years that the prices might not go up again? I mean, Thailand's already risen in price. It might rise a lot more. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. Let's see. As of Sharik. Okay, nice to hear from you. Happy New Year to you, mate. Brian Street, why love one when you can love them all? Yeah, why buy a book when you can join a library? Welsh 32, top shelf sticky pages. Okay. Karen Franklin Jones, you can live for $1,000. You can live for £1,000 up in the sticks. The village girls, older ones, many don't have families to take care of. They buy cheap clothes in the markets. Bears out are very cheap, 250 baht for 3 big bears. That's okay. That's okay. But is it really fun living there up in the sticks? Is that something that you are really, really, really like? I'm not so sure about that. I think I'd still miss the city, funnily enough. Let's see. Thailand forever. Not all girls in Thailand are working girls, Eddie. My missus is an accountant for the huge hotel chain. Not a working girl. Yes, she doesn't expect nothing. But yes, I do treat her each month, but not big amounts. Well, that's good for you, mate. I wasn't suggesting all I wasn't suggesting all girls in Thailand are working girls. I'd say, but all women across the globe, whether in England or any other country, they all want money from you. English women are the worst. They want your last bloody penny. They want your underpants from you. So I wasn't really saying that all girls in Thailand are working girls. I'm just saying that all women want money. All the ones that I've met have. Anyway, but good for you, mate. Anyway, good for you. Davy Pie, okay. Yes, okay. Cy London, the film with Woody Allen buying porn magazines was hilarious. But what was it? Oh, I think I remember that. Was it Take the Money and Run? Was it that? Or was it Bananas? Or it was something like that. He was trying to discreetly, he was trying to discreetly buy the porn mag, and the guy shouted out, "Hey!" He shouted out to his colleague, "Hey, how much is this copy of Orgasm?" Remember it well. Martin Ryder, 14 days. Yeah, I think it is 14 days. Fat Boy Slim, where are you off to next, Eddie? I'll keep that as a surprise. I like to surprise people anyway. I like to surprise that, but it's coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. What is this now? CL Bow. In the US, I live on $6,000 a month and have a big American wife and 2 ugly teenagers living the dream. Sounds wonderful, mate. It sounds wonderful. A big American wife. Did you mean to say a big American car? But no, you really mean it. Really did mean a big American wife. Yeah, I've heard about that. Martin Blonsden, this is important. You guys are forgetting medical insurance and your monthly costs. That adds a lot to the bill. Yeah, of course. You've got to consider that. You've definitely got to consider that. Yeah, California to the jungle. See about everything is so expensive and inflated in the US. You have to make your money and then retire out of the country. Mexico is a good option for Yanks. Mexico, I'd still like to visit Mexico. I mean, I have been to Mexico before, but I'd like to travel through Mexico. But That was like during the pandemic. That was the one country that was open. But every time I suggested going there, some people on the YouTube channel, in the comments said, "Don't bother going there." I wouldn't watch videos on that. I mean, a lot of top vloggers went to Mexico when it was the only place that they could go to, and their videos weren't really very exciting. Not really. Cy London, Labour was a disaster with mass uncontrolled immigration. Really? Well, I mean, has it got any better now? I mean, we've had a Conservative government for the past 12 years. And look at the thousands of people who have come across the channel. You can't really say it's Labour's fault. Okay, Paul Harrison, 5 days until Bangkok. Good for you, mate. Good for you. McLaren F1 race. I do Thatcher. She is a MILF. Maybe not do, but wow, she was a woman. She had more bollocks than most of the fellas. Nick Ross. Right now, it's the Russian girls who are thick on the ground in Thailand, and the Thai girls are getting angry. The thing is with the Thai girls, sorry, the Russians. I know people say there's lots of Russians in Thailand. The ones that I've seen look like bloody cutthroats. I mean, they look rough. They look. I wouldn't trust them. I wouldn't trust them. Just I mean, this is just my observation. Anyway, I'm not saying all Russian girls are like that. Just the ones that I've seen. David Coleman, I have to go. I'll see you. Okay, have a good day anyway. Happy New Year to you, David. Anyway, Happy New Year. Farang Chef, Sky News did a bit on a hospital in the UK that had 32 ambulances waiting to unload patients. Austerity should never touch health and the right to a decent care. Yeah, well said, mate. Well said. Okay, so where are we now? Peace out, David Coleman. Nick Ross, the Russians don't want to go back to Russia. It's going to be interesting. We can't talk too much in that, but Jesus Christ, I mean, the world is in a very, very precarious state right now. Very, very precarious. You know what's going to, I mean, we're at the birth of this year. It's almost a year ago since, big Russia invaded a smaller country. And that's gone on for a lot longer than anyone thought. But I mean, this year, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? We just don't know. God, I'm thinking the worst. Thailand forever. Singapore down Horsford course, mate. I want an educated girl that speaks fluent English with decent conversations and top fun. But what was it that Oliver Reed once said? His ideal girlfriend, his ideal wife, a mute nymphomaniac whose father owns a brewery. That's more like my kind of woman. Karen Farang from the jungle. Worst place I spent New Year's Eve was Blackpool. Yeah, all right, yeah, I'll go along with that. Easter, man, traffic lights at Tunnel Road and Waverley in Liverpool is where you used to let the new year in and carrying crates of beer and then back to people's houses. Tunnel Road and Waverley. Oh my God, absolutely. That's where you come from, Easter, man. Yeah, I mean, it used to be that case anyway when you open the doors to let the new year in, and what was the other one? Oh, the ships. Because we were close to the Mersey. I was going close to the River Mersey. You used to hear the ships blowing their horns and all of that. But in Liverpool, New Year's Eve was just synonymous with bloody drunks, really. Kind of wondering who that was then. It's footsteps. Andrew Johnson, nice to hear from you, Andrew. I hope also Andrew is retired in John TM, and he's very, very happy there. So good for him. I look forward to seeing you soon anyway, Andrew. All the best, mate. Nice to hear from you. Andrew Johnson, absolute gridlock on New Year's Eve. See, that's one of the reasons I don't want to drive again. I don't like being stuck in traffic jams. New Year's Eve, really in Pattaya. It was like that gridlock on the fireworks festival, wasn't it? Oh, no, I don't fancy that. Definitely don't fancy that. Paul Hoskin, there's English border officials patrolling the beach. Well, I don't know if that's gone out of fashion. Talking about the dinghy drivers right now, because it's probably the pits of winter now, and there's probably not that many dinghies coming over. But just wait till the summer; it'll all kick off again. Damon, Ed, my dad told me when I was a young boy that fanny will be the most expensive thing you'll ever buy in your life. He was right. Yeah, but sounds about right. Women don't come cheap. Esan, man, I am rent and debt free. I live in Esan. Married, no kids, but a couple of dogs. Pick up a small motorcycle. I live simple but comfortable. And my average spend a month is about 55,000 Thai baht. Well, what's that then? What is that? What is that? 10,000 is about 250, isn't it? So what is that about? Yeah, that sounds reasonably enough. Good for you, mate. Anyway, I'm glad that you're happy. Good for you. Let's see, where are we? Farang chef. I worked in Cambodia. Would have a tuk-tuk driver waiting outside my door every day to take me to work for $2. Only he gave no warning if he did not show. Then big pattern, yeah, probably got a better offer somewhere else. Toby Price, been living here 14 years. Eventually, you get bored of the tourist areas. Nice and chilled here in my Thai village, and the people are great. Okay, well, good for you, mate. Good for you. Okay. Let's just see. I'm not going to comment on other people. I mean, some people, I know some people like Becker and made comments in the chat, but yeah, I let them get on with it and everyone. It's it wouldn't be the same if everyone agreed with everybody else. So anyway, I'm not going to comment on that. I'm going to go on to this one. Nick Ross. They did make a movie that was called Emmanuel. Yeah, they did, and they also made Emmanuel 2 and Emmanuel, Black Emmanuel and Emmanuel in Space. There was actually one called Emmanuel there was one called Emmanuel in Soho, and yeah, they were the days. They were very, very hairy days. They were. Boohoo, 200 Canadian is 17 US dollars. Uh, Even a typical cost of living in town would tell anyone it's enough to live on. 200 is 17 US dollars. A glance at typical cost of living in Thailand would tell anyone. Yeah, that sounds about right. 1700 US dollars, well, you'd probably live quite comfortably on that. My client, yeah, I was telling to someone else, Clive. I'm in the middle of divorcing the 6-year marriage Thai wife. Off to see a 36-year-old in Calicut, Manila in February for 3 weeks. Wish me luck. Well, I wish you luck as well. Good for you, mate. Anyway, good for you. As if Sherrick, hey, where are you going to your next teaser? I'll tell you when I get there. Some people will like the place, and some people won't like it. That's all I'm saying. But I'm a traveler, and travelers, go to other places. Nick Ross, Thailand is about to crash. The trouble in the south and the trouble in the north. Burma, it's only a matter of time, and the weapons are going kill it. Oh my God, that sounds dreadful. That does not sound good for 2023, does it? Gorilla in Manila. I see you as the Judith Chalmers of the YouTube world, if you will. Judith, she was bloody annoying here, wasn't she? I mean, she's probably popular with middle-aged couples, and the blokes that probably thought, well, at least she's better looking than my wife, but and the women thought, well, I wish I was Judith Chalmers, but the young people, I mean, what affinity did she have towards travel? With the young people. Let's see, Patriots one. You need to give her 10,000 baht a month, and when the Buffalo got 6, it's 20,000. Okay. So anyway, where are we now? Let's see. Where are we? Okay. Nick Ross, why not try Nagaland? The girls will lead to their huts by candlelight. Nagaland is in Phnom Penh, isn't it? I'm past there. I might just investigate that place. You never know. Michael, Eddie, in your opinion, what country you enjoy most, Thailand or Cambodia? Well, I like both of the countries. I like both, but Thailand is obviously the one that's got the most to offer. That's definitely, because it's a bigger country. It's got a lot more places. John Mitch, try getting medical insurance when you are 70 years old plus. Absolutely, yeah. You've got to think about these things. It's yeah, it's okay talking about whether you can live on this and that, but you've got to think about the medical insurance and all the other stuff. You know what I mean? There's a lot more to it. Nick Ross, there are plenty of exciting places to go in Cambodia, but you never go to any of them. Oh, really? I've been to quite a lot. I've been to Sihanouk Village. I've been to Koh Rong. I've been to Siem Reap, Angkor Wat. I've been to Phnom Penh. I've been to that place where they have the dolphins, Irrawaddy dolphins. I've been quite a lot of exciting places in Cambodia. Okay. The Clan F1 race, would Starmer do any better? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a time of such mediocrity in politics in England between Starmer. I mean, and what you've got now, and Laurel and Hardy. Liz Truss, who only lasted 5 minutes, and oh Jesus Christ, never been a time of such mediocrity. John Mitch, 47,000 illegal immigrants came to the UK by Tinggy in 2022. Jesus Christ. And how many others slipped in other ways? I mean, the reason that they come to England is because their own country is shite, or they come for all the wrong reasons, like to start organised crime and whatever. I mean, but we've talked a lot. We talked a lot about that. And we probably will talk a lot about it again in the future. But you know, let's see. Paul has it. You can keep the Russian girls. I go to Asia for Asian girls who are far more beautiful. Okay. McLaren, no, not that's a bit. No, we're not gonna do this. Let's see. Martin Ryder, going back to the Vagabond interview, the Aussie was saying he doesn't bother with medical insurance. He goes to the pharmacy and they give him what he needs without a prescription. You're kidding? You're kidding me? And what if you happen to is serious? What happens if you get the big C or something really serious? Like, I wouldn't support that at all. Definitely not. Definitely not. Martin Ryder, perfect woman, 3 feet tall and the flat head. The old jokes are the best. Is that 3 feet tall? Is that so you can put your pint of beer on it or something, but a flat head or whatever? Ian Bowden, hi Eddie, just to say hi from a boozing in Chinatown in London. Great atmosphere. Oh, good for you anyway. Good for you. Nice to hear from you, Ian. Anyway, nice to hear from you. It's also nice to know that a lot of these people in the chat are people who have actually met. Ian and Damon and various other people. Nice to hear from you, mate. Brian Street. Brian Street, move your bonds for 30 seconds so I can see them make a bite behind you. There you go. Can you see it? I can't see that. I'm looking at. Yeah, no, I don't think you're looking at the bike. I think you're looking at something else there, aren't you? I think you're looking at something else there, Brian. Repair shop. Thank you. Shared on Twitter. Thank you. Thank you for that. Ian Bambuza called Waxy's little sister on corner of Wardour Street. 660 a pint, but great atmosphere UK in January. Okay, well, good for you. Good for you then anyway, mate. Good for you. G Long Dave, I'll crack one off to Judith Chalmers. Oh my God, that's going to be the weirdest comment of the night. Bottle baby. Prices in Cambodia should stay low, so I'm fine. Thailand, it's all over the bars. I'm not likely any time to waffle. See, Bao, how many girlfriends could I have in Thailand if I had $1 million US a year? You could have a harem every night of the week for that kind of money. Okay, so anyway, okay, so I'm gonna let's see. Okay, let's see. Where are we now? Okay, so I'm gonna finish this up now because this is a little pop-up stream. Been on for more than 1.5 hours here anyway. What's this? Santorini paid equivalent of 47 quid for 4 pints and Prosecco and Brewski top floor in Radisson, Sukhumvit last night. Okay. Let's see, John Sullivan, how many more years, Elperman, do you see yourself traveling at? Well, I'm 60 years old now, but obviously you slow down, don't you? I mean, I've been to all the places that I always wanted to go to, but, been there and done that. So I'm probably not the same now as I used to. But as long as my little lively little YouTube channel keeps going, and as long as all I know right now, at this moment in time, I'd rather be here than back in freezing cold, depressing England. So I'll probably keep traveling for as long as my health holds up, to be honest with you. Okay, so anyway, here we are. Let's see. Joe Hart, Eddie will be going back to Battaya on this trip. Yeah, I'll be back in Battaya. Toby Price, Greece is good for hairy Marys. Okay. Shane Rana, come on, everyone, hit the like button. Okay, hit the like button, guys. Cheers. Okay. Clive, Eddie, I'd love to meet you one day. I'm in the Calico, Manila, 14th of February till 3rd of May. Pop over. I don't think the Philippines is on my list at this moment in time, but you never know. But anyway, it's good. Anyway. Listen, guys, I'm going to sign off now anyway because it's about what time is it now? 7 p.m. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning here. Anyway, so I've been traveling today from Kampot to here. So I'm going to sign off right now, and I'm going to say thanks for watching anyway. I'll be back pretty soon. There's plenty more videos to come on the Steady Eddie channel. And for what it's worth, Happy New Year to everyone. Let's hope that 2023 is not as bad a year as the way it's looking right now. Okay. Cheers for cheers for turning up, guys. Anyway, have a great day, a great new year, and all that. And I'll see you soon. Cheers.